So hello, my name's Andrew Smooker and I'm the BASF Agronomy Manager for Cambridgeshire and supporting in an East Anglian team. So obviously we're in another peculiar year, not to say that any years seem to be particularly normal these days, but what has been probably visibly low pressure to date, we're really starting to see that change now, and the what we know to be latent septoria pressure starting to come through and show itself just in the run up to T1. So as with last year, when we saw very high levels of latent septoria infection even in a relatively dry start to the season, we expect this year again to be in a curative situation at T1 and needing a very robust programme in place for that challenge. So as part of the Real Results Network last year, we ran what was called the Cura Crop project, which is an ongoing project of leaf sampling and assessing the levels of septoria on leaves by DNA analysis. And classifying that either into, so obviously advanced infection, latent infection or no infection. And I don't think it is really a surprise to know that there are often more levels, higher levels of septoria than you see. But what is a surprise, I think, when you actually see the numbers in print in front of you. So 2/3 of leaves 1 and 2 last year which had either latent or advanced infection, and those were leaf samples that were collected after a dry period and before any significant rain. So if we can get very high latent infection in a year like that, then there is serious potential for septoria infection this year, and we're starting to see that come to fruition this year in our trials. So what looked relatively clean start to the spring, now more recently in the last week or so, since we've had some warmer weather and things have got going, we're seeing that first septoria infection visibly on leaves now. So just re-emphasising how important this T1 spray is really, and on a variety like we're in today with the Santiago, just having a look this morning, you're starting to see relatively high levels of septoria coming through on this, but remembering there is this latent phase in septoria and it can take weeks to see the visible signs of that. But given that the weather that we've had, the persistent rain followed by warm weather, lots of movement of moisture around the crop, there's certainly potential for septoria pressure this year.
BASF. We create chemistry.